Welcome to Deadly Ever After, a podcast where the fairy tale leads to a nightmare. As veteran luxury event planners, we explore the sometimes dangerous path to I do.
Join us weekly as we share true stories of deadly proposals, homicidal honeymoons, and everything in between.
Our hope is to share helpful insights into wedding planning, avoidable red flags, and, of course, to honor the victims involved. I'm Regina.
And I'm Tasha.
And you're listening to Deadly Ever After. All right, welcome back. Hi.
Hi.
Tasha, it's been a little while.
I know.
Yeah, we're in the same outfits. Amazing.
Just love this shirt.
Right? Yes, we're recording all these on the same day. So, welcome back to Deadly Ever After. Yeah, we just had our first 2 episodes that we did. We dropped them early last week.
Yep.
And we are going to attempt to get through this particular case in one single episode. I know it can be frustrating being true crime podcast fans when things drag out too long and you just want to get to the conclusion and figure out either who done it or if justice has been found. And so we're going to try and do single case episodes. Yes.
Yeah, not always make them a 2-part or 3-part,
Dragging
but
out.
always,
Sometimes we talk too much.
Part.
Yeah. It's going to happen.
Us talk too much. Never.
I know, right? No one would ever say that. So we know that weddings are held at all kinds of different venues.
Yeah.
Right? We, country clubs and resorts and
golf clubs,
hotels.
Clubs.
Yeah. And I got married at an archaeological park, actually, which that's weird, right? And then you got married on a beach.
I did.
Yeah. So there's lots of different options out there. And so for a beach wedding, mine technically was supposed to be oceanside, but more in a tide pool than a sandy beach. So a little different.
Yep.
But you got married on the beach. What was the reason you chose that place?
So Antigua is very near and dear to mine and my husband's heart. One, because I went there before him and my friends have lived there, so it was beautiful when I went. And then when we first started dating, he came with me there to visit my friends, and it was a great vacation, great trip. And then the next time we went, that's where he popped the question.
Okay.
On one of the beaches there, and they're just so beautiful. And we were like, this is great. And we were like, okay, definitely want to do destination because A, it cuts down our guest list quite a bit. And, I just wanted to keep it pretty small and intimate. We have big families and, lots of friends in town. I'm a social butterfly, so we'd be able to keep the guest list down without feeling terrible. Yeah. So it was between either Big Bear or somewhere in the mountains to beach. And so we thought, hey, let's do the beach.
And I was happy to be there because the beach is beautiful.
Thanks
That's
for coming.
definitely, I know, it was great. So the case that we're covering today is about a beach wedding.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's the tragic story of a very untimely death of Samantha Miller. And Samantha Miller Hutchinson would have been her married name, is a beloved daughter, sister, and aunt, friend, cat mom. Yes, and wife. Unfortunately, she passed away on April 28th of 2023. So this is
my gosh, very recent.
Very recent. I mean, a little over a year and a half now. In Folly Beach, which is in South Carolina, at the age of 34. April 28th is also her wedding day. She passed away just moments after leaving her reception at the end of the night. So sad.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Samantha, also known as Sam Miller, and Eric Hutchinson first met in 2019, and it seemed to be almost love at first sight. And Sam had called Eric's mother on the phone around a week after the couple met and said, hello, future mother-in-law, which, I mean, that's so cute.
That's so cute.
It is really sweet. And during their 4 years together, they traveled, they moved across the country, they adopted a kitten, and they spent the COVID pandemic together, which, I mean, if that doesn't make you or break you, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's a thing, yeah. And they, after spending this pandemic together in Eric's home state of Utah, the couple moved to Charleston in the fall of 2021. And Samantha had found an apartment on James Island, specifically because she liked the proximity to Folly Beach. And I showed you a picture of Folly Beach.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's very serene and
stunning,
calming, and
yeah, it looked beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
heavenly.
I could tell why someone would want to live
yeah.
near this particular beach. It was Sam's dream to live in Charleston by the beach, and they loved living on James Island for the past 21 months. So that was information gathered from Annette, which is Arik's mother. And on June of 2021, Sam and Arik became engaged. Yay. Yeah. So Sam had spent months planning her dream wedding. Oh. She was so excited to start her life. According to her sister, Mandy, she was a daughter, sister, and friend, mother of 2 cats. Apparently the cat family grew. And all the information we gather. She's a beautiful person inside and out and just wanted to have people smile. So very sad. Annette had said, Arik's mom, that she just fit instantly into their family from the first day that they met and was absolutely everything to Arik and completely changed him for the better. I mean, that's, when someone is like your inspiration, it's really hard to find. Yeah. She could light up a room with her presence, had an ease about her, and they shared many hopes and dreams about the future, including children and building a house. So Sam just had that glow, Arik said, that she's the type of person that walks into the room and you absolutely notice. And so the couple had picked their wedding day, as I mentioned, April 28th, 2023, and they chose the location of Folly Beach in South Carolina. Samantha was 34 when she was married. Arik was just 36.
Okay. And that was like a, pretty normal engagement, planning a wedding. So
they spent months doing it.
Yeah.
It all, like, looking at the venue, looking at the beach. It looked like a beautiful setting. So they had a vision. They knew what they wanted. And on the wedding day, everyone said she had no nerves. She was not nervous at all. She's completely confident in her plans, completely confident in marrying him. Mm-hmm. Just, you could feel the love on the beach, according to Sam's sister, Mandy. And Sam's wedding dress hung on the custom hanger. It said Mrs. Hutchinson. Did you have that detail?
No.
I didn't either. I totally missed the hanger moment.
I thought about getting one, but I also am not in love with the pictures of the dress just, like, hanging by itself.
Yeah.
Like, for some reason it creeps me out. It's like a ghost is in my dress. So it kind of creeps me out.
Foreshadowing?
Yeah, I mean, right? But it was just like, so I was like, no, I'm not going to have her take pictures of just my dress, so I didn't see the point.
Didn't have that.
Buying
I didn't have a hanger either. I do have pictures of my dress, though. Particularly because my mother painted on it.
Well, yes. Yeah, that was a little bit more personal.
It was a little different. Yeah.
I was like, you can take pictures of my dress when it's on my body.
Right, exactly. So everyone was just really happy. They were spending the day drinking mimosas together, getting ready, as one does on their wedding day.
Does the mimosa thing.
Yes, of course. She was getting her hair done. She's very calm, beautiful, Mandy said. So again, she keeps recounting the day as being a day of no nerves, a day of calm.
Yeah.
Everyone feeling like they were surrounded by love. She had made the couple a 5-layered pineapple and coconut wedding cake. I'm sorry, sign me up. That sounds delicious.
That is amazing.
Like, I know we're hungry and we're waiting for our lunch, but, like, that actually sounds delicious.
And perfect for a beach wedding.
Perfect for a beach wedding. My wedding was also pineapple and coconut. Isn't that funny? That gives me weird chills now.
Yeah.
Yes, our beach wedding had some beachy things to it. So, the wedding was absolutely perfect. Sam had painstakingly planned every single detail. The couple was married on the beach, and the reception was at Folly Beach County Park. So again, go to Instagram. I've uploaded some photos of what Folly Park looks like. It's beautiful. And there's actually quite a few venues around there that look really, really stunning.
Yeah. For new listeners, it's deadly.ever.after is our Instagram handle.
Absolutely. And you can send us DMs there too if you have any questions about this case or have any details about a previous case or a future case you'd like us to cover there too. So Arik had spoke about Sam's love of Folly Beach. It was everything to her. The sunrises, the sunsets, laying out. It's her favorite thing to do. Folly Beach. And so having the wedding day there just made perfect sense. She was so happy. Planning the wedding, as most people knew, is extremely stressful. However, it was just, she was so calm through the whole thing. She was just ready to be married. And he also said the wedding and the reception were one of the greatest days of his life. So Eric really accounts everything back with just fond memories of that particular moment. The dance floor was hopping, and everyone is just dancing together. Sam was there dancing with everyone, and this is Lisa. This is Sam's mother, accounting her version of the reception. It was just so special. She also surprised Lisa with a mother-daughter dance.
Oh.
I know, which I thought was so sweet. So the DJ announced it. Surprise dance for the most important person in Samantha's life. Of course, Lisa mentions she busted out crying, and it tells you just what a special person she was and like what their relationship meant to her. Mm-hmm. So the song she chose was Bruno Mars' Just the Way You Are. Oh. That's a great song.
Yeah.
So she was just a bright light wherever she went. Everyone had that to say about her. She loved everyone unconditionally. And at the wedding, she was just shining. She looked at her a few times, Lisa accounts, and it was just like she had this light coming off of her face the whole time. It was like she was already an angel. And I know. I mean, knowing what we know, that her wedding day was her last day on earth, that like, to look back at that day, right? So the couple left their reception around 10 p.m.
Okay, pretty normal. I mean, for those that don't know, like if you're getting married outside, a lot of times you have sound ordinances that you have to follow 100%. And abide by, which most of the time are like at 10 or 11 o'clock.
Absolutely.
Depending on how close they are to residential or other businesses.
That's right. Yeah. So completely normal time. So you have to assume everyone's probably intoxicated on some level, right? Like everybody's had a good time. But they get into their golf cart. They sit next to each other. It's Arik and Sam. Mm-hmm. And there was also 2 other gentlemen escorting them. So Benjamin Garrett and Brogan Garrett. And the couple were being driven to a beach house to begin their married life together. So spend their honeymoon night, their first night together as husband and wife, in a beach house. Sounds fabulous.
Right.
The last thing I remember her saying is that she wanted the night to never end, is what Eric accounts.
I have chills. I want to cry.
It's the best day of your life. That's the last thing that she said to him. And so, you know, when you have this moment in your life, and this is why we're telling these stories, it's supposed to be the happiest moment in your life. And all of these stories that we're covering show for some people it's the last night of their life, it's the worst night of their life. Things can turn in a completely different direction.
Right.
And it's incredibly sad. So they're driving in a golf cart to the beach house. The golf cart itself has rear-ended by another vehicle going 65 miles an hour. Now, it was driving in a 25 mile per hour zone. So clearly this other person was highly speeding, not paying attention. And the impact to the golf cart that they're riding in, like the golf cart goes flying 100 yards.
Oh, yeah. I mean, really, golf carts are not made to endure
big impacts like that.
Like even small impacts.
Yeah,
if you hit the rock, like a boulder wrong, like, you know, I should say, not even say a boulder, I should say like a large rock, you're going to tip the thing. A curb can make it, 100%, go over.
100%.
So, yeah, being hit by a car.
So tragic. So, obviously, police, first responders, they arrived to the scene. After triaging the injured parties, the officers then turned his attention to the driver of this car. Okay, it's a gray Toyota. Mm-hmm. The driver is identified as Jamie Komorowski. I'm probably butchering that name. 25. She was not injured in the crash. Can we just address how often that is that the drunk, and we haven't even covered the fact that she's drunk, but this other driver who does, yes, spoiler alert, she's drunk driving, is not injured in this crash. It's so tragic. I feel like it happens more often than not. And when I researched, it turns out that drunk drivers often aren't the injured party in a car crash because they don't actually brace themselves at all.
Yeah, they don't have their guard up. They're pretty relaxed and calm about it.
Right. So their body just flows with it versus like impact. Oh no, watch out. Hold on to the things. Everything. Right.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, so sad. Just so sad. So they're checking her out. She smells of alcohol. And according to affidavits, she told the officers that she had one beer and one tequila drink, which, I mean, one tequila drink would send me over the moon. Me and tequila, not friends.
I'm a pretty lightweight. I mean, there's a place by our house where you have one, you're feeling great. You have 1.5, you're pretty drunk. 2, you're blacked out.
You're almost on the floor. Right. And so, like, okay, that's her version of things. But officers said that she was very unsteady on her feet. She had trouble standing. They asked her to rate her impairment level. Like, what was her judgment call? Like, how drunk she was on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being stone cold sober.
Okay.
She said she was an 8.
So, now, if the officer said that she also smelled like alcohol, there's no way after 1 beer and 1 tequila something another.
They should be reeking out of your pores.
Yeah, like, you had way more than that for you to be smelling like alcohol. Unless
100%.
Somebody dropped alcohol on you.
On your body, on
but
your
then
physical
again,
person.
like...
How often does that ever really happen? Right. So, she strongly refused to do the sobriety test and then became uncooperative, like a belligerent drunk person would do. Now, Arik said that he doesn't remember anything until he woke up at the hospital. So he remembered waking up. It's really foggy. Everything feels out of sorts. I could see it at my mom's face, and you could just tell that something was wrong. And I asked her, "Where's Sam? Where's Sam?" And that's when she told me that there was an incident and that Sam didn't make it. And so Arik had done an interview with ABC and had explained what happened waking up in the hospital.
That's earth-shattering.
100%. Your whole world is rocked. And after the crash, he had a lot of serious injuries, including having to have 2 reconstructive surgeries, like brain injuries, broken bones. Ben and Brogan were also injured, Ben seriously of the 2. So they started a GoFundMe account to help pay for medical expenses and I'm assuming some funeral costs as well. Before it was disabled, they were up to almost $750,000 in GoFundMe because how tragic.
Well, it's
everyone can really empathize with like a bride leaving her reception on her wedding day, a groom going to start his life with his new wife, and then being rear-ended by a drunk driver.
Yeah.
Like, it's unfathomable, and at the same time, you can understand how devastating that pain would be.
Yeah.
100%. So, fast forward, Arik is now in recovery mode, right? Mm-hmm. Just mentally and emotionally and physically, right? Mm-hmm. And he decides to sue the businesses that had overserved Jamie, yeah.
So then did, I guess, it come out afterward how many businesses she actually did frequent?
So during the investigation, they did get the slew of different places. Mm-hmm. So they had crashed the vehicle. Obviously, she was on the way home from the reception, but she did start to remember all the places she had been to. So they go back. They see surveillance footage. They start to piece together everywhere that had served her. So they have this list of bars.
Oh my gosh.
And also the car insurance people, and apparently like a car rental company, which I'm surprised rent a car. So it must have been that this was a rented car as well. I'm not entirely sure on that particular detail. But he does sue all these businesses for over-serving her and putting essentially this weapon into a vehicle, right? Mm-hmm. And so they are awarded a little over $1.3 million, which turns into about $863 once legal fees were paid. So Arik is trying to recover, rebuild his life. I don't know how you ever move on, but like just do the best you can.
Yeah, continue.
Right. And he obviously has medical expenses that are going to continue based on whatever. He's also got trauma. They've also, there's a lot, right? That the money is like a drop. Yeah, towards rectifying a situation. Jamie is still being held, like has been charged, but they still have not, given her a trial yet. Okay. So we're just trying to get, some recognition from the companies that created this situation by over-serving her.
Right.
Allowing her to get behind the wheel for this tragedy to happen. So now that there's, of course, a lot of money involved, things get more shitty. So Lisa Miller, mom, Sam's mom, is now claiming that Arik and Sam aren't legally married because they were only married for a hot minute.
So basically, like, they signed their license, but it wasn't recorded by the state, so they weren't legally married.
Right. So she's trying to come back and say, I should be the beneficiary of all those funds because your marriage was only, like, legal for a hot second, so that's not real, and you shouldn't be the beneficiary of all of these things. And that also includes whatever from the research I've saw, the estate. And I don't know what the estate means, right? Like, maybe a home they own together, or a life insurance policy, or, something like that, that he's also the beneficiary of her estate. And so the only indication that her lawyers were giving out to like why are they challenging the validity of this marriage, is because they didn't have the opportunity to cohabitate or sleep in the same bed, which, I'm sorry, this borders on gross to me. Like, you're saying that their wedding wasn't legit because they hadn't slept together as husband and wife? I can guarantee you, without walking down a road that's inappropriate to speak of the dead, I'm pretty sure that wouldn't have been their first time. I'm just saying.
Even if it was, this was the love of her life.
100%.
And he was in the accident too. He is facing medical issues and reconstructive surgeries.
Right.
That I guarantee
and therapy.
In the end.
And emotional trauma.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm not discounting.
Yeah.
As a parent, losing a child, I
100%.
couldn't imagine.
Right.
But
I guess my question would be, like, what part of you, after saying how much she glowed that day and how much in love everyone was that day, why you would feel that Sam would have wanted any of that?
Right.
Like, that's not honoring her memory at all.
No.
By challenging her husband and the validity of their union.
Right.
Like, unbelievable. So under South Carolina law, it is crystal clear that you do not have to cohabitate or spend the night together in order to have a valid license. So whatever stupid thing that her lawyers came up with has no actual, like, there's no precedent for that.
Right.
That's nonsense. So it's a double whammy, obviously. I mean, Arik had a good relationship with his mother-in-law until the whole thing became really threatening and challenged the validity of the marriage just to get money out of a litigation that he's owed, not to get rich, but, like, make recovery more comfortable. Like, that's it. No one is using this as an opportunity to scam anybody.
Right. It's not asking necessarily for the money. He's getting basically funds to cover medical
all
and
the things.
Therapy. And I mean, I'm not saying mom doesn't necessarily probably want to see a therapist either, but that's not going to be the sum of what Arik has.
Well, and don't you think that someone would be more likely to, oh, you know what? We all deserve therapy. I'm going to pay for everyone to get therapy. Right. Like, if you're a partner with this other person who's also a victim, like, wouldn't that be a better way to, like, collaborate on this particular, sum of money and say, hey, I know Sam would want everyone to feel like we all were healing from this tragedy. Like, what would be the best way to honor her in this moment? Do we set up a memorial fund? Do we send up a, do we donate something to the, like, Humane Society because she's a cat mom? Like, there's lots of ways you could take that money and put it towards something that honored her memory way better.
Or even
than fighting someone for it.
Was there any issues for Benjamin and Brogan?
Right.
Did they have medical issues?
I don't even see any of that in any of the research.
You know?
And this is between ABC News, like Inside Edition covered this lawsuit. And she had said that Sam would have wanted all of this handled, and I'm hoping in time we can still honor that. All of this handled. Like, what does that even mean? All of this handled. Yeah. It's just ridiculous. And so, like, you're just adding, like, insult to injury. Yeah. Is really what it comes down to. Yeah. That's your attitude towards it.
It wasn't that he was at fault.
Right.
Or
right.
Benjamin or Rogan were at fault. They were, I'm assuming they were driving the couple back. And
all victims.
All of them are victims. And,
it's so tragic. And so to now focus on the real villain in this whole thing, Jamie. She's a real piece of work. She is currently out on bond, awaiting trial. And trial date is not set. And I tried really hard. I'm like, where is it? Because the judge actually said, let's expedite this shit and get it taken care of because she deserves justice. And that was supposed to be done in May of this year. And
we're still waiting.
Right. It's August. No date yet. In September, she was charged with the felony of driving under the influence resulting in the death and reckless homicide, 2 counts of felony driving under the influence resulting in great bodily injury. Fine, but she's out on bail.
Yeah, so she's
still
charged
with that.
Yeah.
But she's not serving a sentence for that. Now, you can tell that clearly she's not necessarily learned a lot from this scenario. Because she has, like, her recordings from jail, phone call recordings, are unbelievable. And I'm not going to go through all of them, but I will certainly post some on our Reddit channel. Mm-hmm. So if you want to see more of that conversation, it's insane how much she has not learned. So she has been like called out saying, you can't control everything. It's very peaceful to just sit here and be like, I can't control the situation right now. All I can do is whatever the next best thing is. The other quote she's been heard saying, bad shit is going to happen. It's now how you handle it. It's important to try and remember that the universe is going to keep going on, keeping on, and what's meant to be will be. 2 years down the road, I'll be living my best life and happy. It's okay. I'm fine.
I was so worried for her, and not Sam, clearly.
Unbelievable.
Sarcasm is very thick in that sentence. I just want everybody to know that.
Yeah, I mean, really? Like, you're prepared to just deal with whatever comes because whatever was meant to be is meant to be, and in 2 more years you'll be fine and happy and it'll all be behind you. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, I can promise that
there's no remorse in any of this.
You know,
her phone calls out to her family that are recorded are unbelievable. And this brings me back to another point that I had posted on Reddit about this particular case and got some feedback. The mom, who obviously stands by her side, Jamie's side, and says, obviously it was a tragic accident.
Jamie's mom. Okay.
Was also in an accident where she hit and killed a fireman. So apparently it just runs in the family to commit vehicular homicide.
And is mom wandering free?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, the circumstances are different. They don't talk about, like, alcohol necessarily being involved. There's apparently, like, obstructed view or whatever. I don't know. But the coincidence of, like, mother, like, daughter killing people with your car, I don't know. I don't know. I can't even imagine what the statistic is on that. It's probably something really insanely awful.
Right.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, Jamie is still out there. She is on home arrest. And there is no current trial date set. So, unfortunately, there's still no justice for Samantha Miller.
That's terrible. I hope that someday soon we'll get to come back on here and tell you guys that there has been justice served.
Yes.
And I mean, even with Justice Served, it's not going to bring Sam back. It's not going to make Eric or Lisa or Eric's mom or Sam's sister feel any better, really.
Right.
It might just
be a little bit of closure.
A little bit.
Yeah, that help any and all of them heal a little bit. I'm very clear that Jamie has not learned anything currently, and hopefully she does. But I'm not holding my breath on that one. But so yeah, we'll definitely be back to update you when there's more information about the trial, a date set, and any sort of updates on how she's going to be pleading out, or hopefully we get to see some good, solid jail time for what happened here. So thanks so much for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next week.
Next week.
On
Deadly Ever After.
That's right.